Hello there, I am Lee.
I am Joe.
And we are the Rewinders, rewatching childhood movies to see if they still hold up. And we are still watching,
Ever so diligently,
going through Robocop.
page by page,
Robocop 1.
by
Part
itself,
3.
because we could probably breeze through the other Robocop movies pretty quick.
I don't know, Robocop 2 is still a good movie. It's not as... It doesn't have a lot to say as much as this one as it's
No, I would
It's not directed
imagine
by
it's-
Paul Verhoeven, and it's written by Frank Miller. But that's Robocop 2. It's still a good movie. There's still good stuff in there. Because the villain, Kane, played by Tom Noonan is great.
Tom Noonan.
Yeah, Tom Noonan. He's amazing. There's good stuff in there. But we're going to wrap up Robocop.
Today.
We're gonna
do it.
We're
going to do it.
We're going to do it part 3 here. We got this.
If we get towards the end and we still have more to go, we'll just start summation.
No, we can
make
go with it.
words up.
All right, so we're going to jump on in. Last thing that happened was Clarence murdered Bob Executive.
Bob Executive is dead.
Yep, so that's where Joe's going to pick it up now.
We get a shot of little vials of cocaine being created and people talking about, hey, so I'm the distributor for this area.
Yeah.
It's Clarence's gang is going to buy their product and be the distributors for Old Detroit.
Yep.
These guys aren't Old Detroit area cocaine people.
Yeah, the guy was walking around, he's bald, and has a glass of wine. Was he supposed to be, like, Colombian or something? But he didn't have an accent.
They were...
Because
some
later on Clarence called him a
kind-
wop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not really... All right.
They pull a little bit of an accent out after that statement, but before that there is
there's
no
nothing.
accent.
But you're right, yeah. Clarence wants to get more power in Old Detroit.
And these are probably the bigger
cocaine distributors
or
whatever.
creators or whatever.
Whatever we're told.
They're obviously not Old Detroit. They're probably in the suburbs-ish. They're not. It doesn't seem like it's the same type because of the casualness and how much more money even
Oh, yeah.
the way that those dealers look compared to the gangs that you've seen so far.
That's true.
There's a difference.
Clarence throws money at him, or pours a bunch of money, like, here you go, we got lots of it. We don't need this. We're going to make more with our cocaine in vials for some reason, which is...
Yeah,
it was just trying to be
whatever.
fancy and different.
And that's when the threats start coming out, and the guns get pulled, and everyone's got a gun on everyone.
I like Clarence says something like, ooh, guns! He says that, oh, I'm so scared. But then he should be scared because the door, boosh, 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 and Robocop walks on in, and there's a huge gunfight.
Everyone, because both of the gangs are like, hell no.
Yeah, we're going to shoot at this guy. And it's a pretty good action scene because there's catwalks and stairs everywhere. And the way Robocop, he comes in, he targets all of them. So he's like, all right, I know you're here. And so he walks through, kind of stands in the middle. They're shooting at him. He's basically bulletproof when it comes to small firearms.
Yeah.
So sometimes he's not even looking because he already had it programmed in his brain. Just boom, shoot here, turn this way, which looks cheesy but also awesome. His motion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he doesn't have human-like movements anymore, so...
So it's so superhero-y comic book stances, and it's fucking great. As he's taking out all these drug dealers and makers.
And I believe he gets Giggly Guy?
He shoots... Yeah, he hits... Giggly Guy has a railing. He
does a railing.
Die.
So obviously he's Canadian.
Oh, yeah, you're right, yep. He falls off a railing into some boxes. He's knocked out. Asian guy who really didn't have much of a character, he gets killed.
Okay.
And everyone else gets killed, and there's a lot of gunfire. It goes on for a while. But
Clarence tries to run away and jump.
He tried to jump on, like, the top of a office, or, like, because inside of this warehouse.
And it's obviously a fake ceiling for the office.
Right on
just
through,
goes right through, and it's
good.
like, I've fallen from good distances, and that just reminds me of just like, oh, my knees and legs.
Oh,
and Robocop starts beating the crap out of him, dragging his face through glass.
And more important, going through some more glass. And he's just picking up and throwing him because he remembers, oh, you're this guy. You killed me.
But you're a cop, man. You can't kill me. You're a cop.
Yeah, Clarence spits blood in him and
and
starts to get choked to death.
I work for Dick Jones. Dick Jones runs the police,
That's
and
really
you're a
important.
cop. And not thinking that Robocop's recording all of this.
Doesn't know that Robocop can record.
But Robocop doesn't use this for any purpose in the movie.
Yeah, he does. Robocop records this.
If I remember correctly.
We'll get to it, but
Okay.
he definitely uses this. This is a key point to the ending of this movie.
The ending of the movie is a different recording than this.
You're absolutely right. I had to search my memories and flashbacks, and you're absolutely right.
He doesn't use this clip. He uses it for himself.
He uses it for himself. That's why they played it back. All right.
Which threw me off because I expected this one to be the clip that changes everything at the end, but it's not.
Continue. Yep.
So then he arrests Clarence because, yes, I am a police officer.
Yeah, he's reminded that he is a cop.
So he arrests him, takes him back to the precinct, throws him down, book him. What for?
Cop killer.
And then just walks out.
And then Clarence, again, because he likes to spit blood, hawks a huge loogie on the sergeant's papers, and it's disgusting.
Both spits are just gross.
Oh, Red Foreman knows how to get that deep, snotty blood spits going. And then he just says, "Want my free phone call?" And of course, he calls Dick Jones to get him out. And on the other line, something like, "I'll get you and all your buddies out in 24 hours. Don't worry about it. We'll get the lawyers on this."
You really screwed up this time. And he looks in his desk because when he killed Bob Executive, he also took Bob Executive's stuff. So now he has the Robocop tracker. Robocop is heading to arrest Dick Jones now because
he told him. Clarence told him.
Clarence told him.
All right, well, I'm going to the top then.
Dick Jones opens the door for Robocop when he comes in. He's like, "Hello, officer."
Because he knows he's coming, and he's not worried.
No. And Robocop's like, "I'm here to arrest you."
Mm-hmm. All right. Stands up. Dick puts his arms out. Go ahead. Arrest me, officer.
So as he's moving to arrest him, Directive 4 kicks in.
Directive 4.
Then Dick Jones does the master villain speech where
he's got a monologue.
You gotta tell the good guys what's going on and how you're gonna win.
Hey, dumbass, I got you because Directive 4, since you're an OCP creation, basically, is we put that in there so you can't act against any OCP
senior
executives, so you can't arrest me.
That's awfully specific.
I love it. Well, I mean, they get to go to those sweet washrooms that have.
So what happens if Robocop goes into the washroom?
Just shuts down right away.
But it turns into a urinal.
Wait, he's a transformer as well?
Well, that's Directive 5. Anyway, so
you're thinking of Robocop 2, where he gets hundreds of directives.
Yeah, Roby is squirming around, trying to not die,
and he makes silly faces because he's trying to fight Directive 4, and Peter Weller's making faces.
It's funny.
It's funny.
But as Dick Jones is explaining, this is supposed to shut him down permanently.
Yes,
but it doesn't.
Murphy's strong. He's not giving up without a fight.
Tries to pull a gun, can't do that. But then Dick Jones hits his button and brings in Ed 209. So now we do not only have Ed 209 on this floor, but we have Robocop on this floor.
And that's when I started thinking, and Ed 209 sneaks around the corner.
Yeah, you didn't hear him set up.
He's been there the entire time. But now we got a fight going on. And what sucks is Robocop is still shorting out, kind of fighting Directive 4. So he's really just getting
trying to get
away from Ed 209. Comes at him, just machine guns the crap out of him. And it's higher caliber, so now he's getting damaged, dented, and shot through a glass door. And then gets uppercutted through some more glass doors, but there's a great scene where Ed is coming at him, growling, and Robocop's been damaged in his visor. You can see his real eye as his this thing is coming, but manages to find Ed 209's greatest weakness:
stairs.
Yup, the designers didn't think about stairs. Yeah, Robocop rolls down the stairs, looks up at him, and Ed just. Like a puppy.
Yes.
Looking at the stairs, and he has big, clunky tri-feet things.
Toes.
And their toes are twitching, trying to testing the water of, should I see if I can put my foot here? No. Okay, I'm going to go. I got to go.
I got to do this.
I got to get Robocop, even though he should be. Oh, yeah. I think Robocop blew off And to grab
one of his arms.
Was shooting at him, grabbed the arm, made him lose the other arm.
Yeah.
Shot rockets at him and stuff that was missing.
Yeah.
Whatever. That was pretty dumb where those rocket launch missiles didn't really do that much damage. No. But the stairs do the most damage to Ed 29 as he slips and rolls down them and then squeals like a pig and his legs are flailing. And as a kid, that horrified me. This just loud, angry thing is just freaking out, and I didn't know if it was in pain because I didn't understand as a kid.
And me as a kid, to me, this was humor. This was supposed to be hilarious.
This scared me because of earlier Ed 209 is so intimidating.
Oh, yeah. But one single flight of stairs takes it out. To me, that's like humorous. Even as a kid, I saw it as, look at that. This big, huge weapon that you're frightened of.
Was a dumb kid and adult. So.
You didn't have older siblings that beat fear out of you and...
Absolutely right. That's true. Only child.
So then you think, okay.
Robocop got out.
Robocop's got away.
Elevator gets out.
And then shukung, shukung,
and
shukung,
spotlights
shukung,
everywhere.
shukung.
Yep. All those shukunks are shotguns and pistols getting cocked.
And the big lights being turned on. And then you see the guy who was talking with the guy in the building. What are they called?
The guy in the building?
So the officer is the one with the big megaphone saying, you got so much to live for, don't do it. What is that called?
The negotiator?
The negotiator is there. And he's like, he hates Robocop because Robocop stole his thunder. So now he's like, we're going to kill this guy. Shoot him now.
There are a couple of cops that are saying, you guys can't shoot him. He's a cop himself. And they said, no, he's property OCP. He's malfunctioning. We have orders from OCP to take him out. And they start unloading on him.
Yeah. So you see the divide of the people who are, to me, the straight. These are police officers. These are real police officers.
Cops that are here to help, not just it's a job.
And the other ones are mercenaries.
Exactly. They don't care.
They're probably there to do this kind of stuff.
They're mercenary plumbers, as we're going back to part one. But what is great shot about all this is because it's in a concrete parking ramp and just all the lights, and then when they start firing, there's so much smoke and crap flying everywhere, and Robocop's getting damaged, and he's hurt. He's trying just to crawl away from them, and that they're just calmly walking in a line surrounding him, and just he's on the ground crawling, just one arm pulling himself, and they're just shooting him in the back, and he manages to roll out of there
and flip down each
level. He flips down to get away, and luckily Lewis had gotten to a car and picks him up and takes off, and they start shooting at Lewis, but she gets away.
Yeah, she gets away,
saving Murphy's life.
This scene, mixed with the Port Plaza Mall's parking structure, I believe contributed to many, many dreams about being in parking ramps where I had to run away from things.
Nice. Yeah, the Port Plaza Mall is gone in downtown Green Bay, but the parking ramp is still there.
Still there, yeah.
It's still being used for the KI Convention Center, I believe. It still has the Skywalk. I don't remember when that was introduced in the 80s.
That was fancy.
That was fancy in the 80s. Walked across like, ooh, a skywalk in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I miss Port Plaza Mall because it was an actual mall. It had 2 levels. It had a water fountain.
A good 50% of my nightmares happened in the Port Plaza Mall, where I would fall to my death.
Wow.
Yes. As a kid, not as an adult.
All right.
I've gotten over that.
Interesting. But Robocop makes it out.
And they go hide out in the steel mill.
Yes, they do.
But before we get to that, we get a commercial break.
We
got the dinosaur tearing up.
All of a sudden, there's a dinosaur claymation or stop motion dinosaur walking through a city, and then he's like, then it's just a commercial for the 6000 SUX.
I love
SUX, and it's just
I've made so many references to the SUX car series.
And then, do we go to the news break then?
Yes.
Now, this is the laser going crazy.
Yeah, when the dinosaur sees the car, his eyes go boing.
Oh, I want this awesome car.
Media break. The Peace platform has a malfunction on its opening day, and fires, I think, 3 shots into...
A bunch of shots into Santa Barbara.
And
Setting
then
a wildfire and killing...
113 people are killed, including 2 past presidents.
The 2 past presidents was the important part. And the way that they just said is, and this just happened. And now their 2 past presidents were dead.
Yep.
And now there's a wildfire. In our next story...
Yep. Citywide strike starts at midnight, and they do some interviews with some... Honestly, what I would expect out of finding people in downtown Detroit. Just one guy who is very, buttoned up, flannel, and being, these are cops. The cops don't strike. And then the other guy is on some other planet somewhere else. Like, hey, man. Yeah.
That's his response. Very good.
Another theme that was happening over these media breaks, which I don't think I wrote down, was... there's wars going on all over the planet that America is involved in. And the one in particular is in...
Guatemala?
No, Acapulco.
Oh, yes, Acapulco wars.
They kind of just talk about it.
They glance over
casually and blow it off. But
America
is in like a perpetual war overseas in this movie.
Weird. It's almost like we've been at war for a while overseas.
Constantly.
For the last 15 years.
The news treats it as this is still happening.
And doesn't one of the reporters say, like, something happened in Acapulco, and he says, oh, it's a shame. I was going to be heading down there. I guess I'm not going to be able to make my vacation. Oh, well.
Yep. And that's how it was treated, too. Yeah. Ugh. So then after that, we have
Dick
Clarence.
Jones. Yep.
Clarence goes to visit Dick.
Got to get some Dick.
Hits on the receptionist. She's not having of it because...
He puts his gum on, and he's all cut up, and his face looks...
I don't think he expected to get anywhere with her. But he did it anyway.
He's creepy.
Yeah.
Like, just go on in. And they're repairing the office after the fight.
Shuts the doors behind him, which don't shut.
Nope.
And they talk about... Okay, so they know who this guy is. This guy's on the news all the time as being a cop killer. Strolls right into OCP, strolls right into his office. They know him by name.
Doesn't matter. OCP has that much power because they are the police.
Dick puts it in the terms of, you need to fix this.
Robocop.
You made the mistake. You fix it. Clarence is like, no, screw this. I'm out. Why should I even do this for you? And then Dick teases, Dick teases that there's going to be 2 million workers coming in a few months to start working on Delta City.
Yep.
Now, he needs somebody to be there to handle all the gambling, the drinking, the prostitution.
All the black market mafia stuff. You'll be the mafia of, or whatever version of Delta City. So, okay.
And that pulls him back in, and Clarence says, well, I'm going to need some military-grade weapons, which, what the hell kind of military-grade weapons are these? But
we'll see him later, but he also gives him Robocop's tracker, which is the important part.
Yep, because now we're on the fast track to the end of the movie.
Yep, now we're zipping. And so, we show Murphy and Lewis are in the abandoned old mill. Murphy is sitting there waiting. He's blown to bits. Parts are falling off him. Lewis comes back with, she went to the police station to get equipment, and she says, there's barely anyone there. They're all on strike.
Yeah, and it's not even midnight yet. And basically no one's there.
It's still daytime. And she comes in, and she's like, here, I got you all the stuff you needed. Here's your gun, your clips. I brought some baby food. He's like, I'm not hungry. And he says, and here's a drill. And then Robocop removes his helmet. And... amazing.
Love that segment.
Because she's watching just because of long screws that go into his head, and they're very long, and she's just, wow, that's coming out. And Murphy says, you're not going to like probably what you see here, and takes it off. And
it's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but that makeup is
awesome.
Award-winning. Did they win an Oscar for this? Because they should.
I don't know, but
great. It's literally face... They wrapped around a machine skeleton, but it looks great and real, and
so good. Yeah, I know they would CG this stuff in today. They put a little cap on them and CG it.
Oh, sure.
So much better that in this,
practical,
where you have actual lights casting actual shadows on him.
And I'm trying to look at seams of where his face and the makeup. It's seamless.
No, it's seamless.
Perfect.
It's good.
Sometimes in movies, and when they get HD. Brought up, you can start to see, that's a line where his face ends and now the makeup prosthetic comes and you can start to see it. It wasn't blended correctly. This, perfect. and you see his little entrance wound hole through his brain, the front.
Yeah. It's plugged up.
And the rest of the back of his head is all machine.
Yeah.
And when he takes off, he starts talking. His voice is softer now. It's no longer robotic tone to it. It's a little bit more soft.
He's finding his human side
And
again.
he's starting to talk more and more human, and he's talking more to Lewis.
Yeah,
and
he talks about how he can feel his family, but he can't remember them.
remember them, yeah. And so, yeah, bad. Poor Murphy.
As a kid, the scene where he takes the
helmet
screws off.
Yeah.
I always was like, to me, that's
Gotta hurt.
because that's right into the side of your temples.
The temples. And that's what Lewis is watching, too. She's just, holy shit.
And then as an adult, I can guarantee that if I would have been in Lewis's shoes, I'd be tasting blood and stuff in the back of my throat. So there's a certain when I see something that's more gross in reality, I know what that I taste it in the back of my throat. And I know I would do that if I had to actually see that happen in front of me. This is why I don't work in like emergency rooms.
Got too much empathy, man. And
that's a big memory from being a kid, is the helmet coming off, and just how awesome it was,
and how little human he has left.
Yeah.
That's his only bit of skin he has. The rest of him is gone. Mm-hmm. And I know. Well, we'll get to the end. We'll talk about the remake. I don't know if you've seen the remake from 2014.
There was like at least 5 or 6 like mini movies or something like that, or just straight to DVD movies. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the remake.
Oh, the remake.
That was PG-13.
No, I never.
We'll get to that after we go through all this because
Okay.
But now there's chaos in Old Detroit because now it's now curfew. Well, not curfew, but it's now nighttime,
and there's no
cops, and now it's just looting and craziness.
Yeah. Emil is watching. I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, he's sitting down and everyone's looting. He goes in, and you think he's gonna loot. He just breaks the window to a TV place to turn up the volume so he can watch I'd Buy That for $1 guy and get his couple chuckles. But now the gang is all reunited as they come in with their
Giggles drives up in his new 6000 SUX,
and then so does Clarence,
and kind of calls that out for Clarence. And
hey, I got the same car as you.
It's brand new though. Ha!
You got out of prison. I got myself an awesome new car. Clarence is like, yeah, that's great. You should have basically, I'm the leader. You shouldn't have a car that I have. Mm-hmm. And goes in the back, pulls out huge rifle. And now as an adult, I know what it is. It's a Beretta 50 cal sniper rifle.
Yeah.
But here it's been modified, and they put this giant TV scope on it, like monitor scope on it, which they never use. They hip shoot everything.
Whatever.
But the idea is that it shoots explosive rounds.
Yeah.
It's
called a Cobra assault cannon.
There you go. Clarence blows up Giggles' car.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yep. And then they all each get one, and they start shooting whatever they want in the town
until Clarence decides, all right, we gotta get to business.
Let's take. Okay, this is fun. We gotta take care of business. Kill Robocop. We can go back to
having fun.
More fun, guys. All right, let's go. Woo! They all start clapping. They go off. They have the tracker. They're gonna go murder Robocop.
Over that period of time, Lewis is taking a nap. And
Robocop's a jerk.
He just sets up his baby food bottles right next to her.
She's just 5 feet away, sleeping on metal.
Maybe the robot side of him can't think like that's a.
But she's sleeping peacefully, and he's like, "All right, I'm going to target practice now." Boom. Give her a fucking heart attack, and she's right there. She could get glass in her, or you might accidentally miss because his targeting system.
I thought that he went somewhere else and did that, and still woke her up, and she came to help. But no, she's right there.
But she wakes up because Lewis is awesome, and she helps him get his targeting system back on because of how he's damaged so much. And I like that simple scene is, you're off a little bit, and she's right behind him. Okay, there you go. Are you locked in now? Great.
Mm-hmm. Showing that they're still partners.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a simple way.
A very quick, simple thing.
And then they hear the truck.
The bad guys are there.
And so the bad guys get out, walk in front of their truck, and
Robocop gets the drop on and kills Giggles almost immediately.
Yeah.
Just blams him away. Giggles is down.
Firing off. And then it starts a sequence of Robocop walking
away from explosions,
towards people, away from people, but nothing exactly happens in this section where
it's I don't this is a failure of the movie because I never feel like he's in grave danger, at least at this point, because it seems like, all right, I found my humanity, I'm confident, you guys have these awesome guns, but you just keep missing with them.
Yeah,
I just move this way, literally I just walk this way and you have already missed and shot this, because you keep hip shooting, like, you have a huge scope, bring it up and to your shoulder.
What's to say it won't lock on
and aim?
Like,
and shoot. RoboCop moves slowly.
So the thing that got me was that in one of these cuts, RoboCop is slowly walking after one of the bad guys, but then 2 cuts later, Lewis is doing something, someone else is doing something, and then RoboCop pops out and he's after somebody else. Like he was scaring someone away,
a little bit,
and then he's going after Emil.
Yeah, you're right, because RoboCop kind of teleports throughout the in a way in the steel mill.
Yeah,
he's on a walkway now. He's down here. He's coming towards Nash. He shoots at Nash, and Nash runs away.
Yeah,
and now Emil has gotten in a truck, and now all of a sudden RoboCop's down on the ground, and Emil's like, "Oh, I'm gonna ram RoboCop with this truck I have." RoboCop surprisingly moves out of the way,
like in a pirouette style.
He moves out of the way, and
toxic waste.
There's a huge barreled thing that says toxic waste on it, and it hits it, floods the whole big truck, and it flushes
him out the back end.
And he's now the Toxic Avenger, and the makeup on this, he's melting. Looking at his fingertips have stretched like string cheese, and there's chunks hanging on him. He's like.
The sounds he makes along with the makeup is insanely disturbing.
And he's stumping. He's got he's like a hunchback now, and his face is melting.
And every time you see him, it's progressively worse.
Yep, and he's smoking because of the toxic waste. In the 80s, toxic waste was everywhere, and it did whatever you needed to. Give you superpowers, could melt you, whatever you wanted it to do. Then it comes Nash coming down the alleyway. All of a sudden. Hey, what's going on? Oh my God, a monster! Just get off of me, man!
Yeah.
Help me! Wow. Wow.
As a child, that's what scared me the most in this movie.
And me too. I mean, just watch this movie as a kid. I'm taking all this in. Now we're getting to this. My 10-year-old brain is exploding.
Well, and a few cuts later...
Yeah, because...
he explodes.
There's a little car chase with Lewis and Clarence. Clarence is in his suck, his 6,000, his car. Yeah. And Nash had pushed Emil, the Toxic Avenger, out of the way, and now he's just wandering around down and
dying
slowly melting. He's steaming. He comes out and gets hit by Clarence's car and juicy jelly. His
head bounces off.
His head goes up over the windshield, but the rest of him just instantly. Pink juice, and Clarence can't see anymore, and he
goes into a pit.
He goes into a watery junk pit that's there that has a crane over it, and he crashes. Lewis gets out of her car, and she's like, all right, she's just watching, like, he's probably dead. Nope, he gets out, and
blam, blam, blam.
Instantly, awesome marksman hits her in the arms and shoulders and legs, and she stumbles down.
With a pistol.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, everyone in Detroit knows how to shoot pistols at very far distances.
But not these awesome cannon guns.
Nope.
Because they're hip shooting. I'm telling you. You got to aim, squeeze the trigger.
But then, teleporting RoboCop is behind Clarence, basically, and at the far side of this pit.
And he's walking towards him. Nash sees this happening and goes up to a crane that has a bunch of junk in it. And he's laughing because he's going to drop a bunch of junk on RoboCop.
Clarence sees that, plays into it.
RoboCop is walking on water.
Oh, yeah.
As he's coming.
I did not think about that, but yes, you're right.
As he's coming towards Clarence, he's confident. He's walking on water, a little bit of puddle that's there.
I see what you're saying. Because,
He was resurrected. RoboCop is Jesus. And he's going to murder the fuck out of Clarence.
Just like real Jesus would have done.
He had enough.
So, Clarence is... Clarence is doing the whole, like, oh, man, no, and backs him up so that he can get him underneath the crane. and then
Crash.
just drops about, I would say, 3 tons of girders.
Tons of stuff falls on him, and Murphy is pinned. They're all laughing. Nash is laughing up there, like, I got the fucker. Oh, not too late here, because Lewis grabs one of the cannons, blows the fuck out of him. So Nash is dead.
Which Clarence is like, oh
well.
Yeah, and recovers pretty quick. But he goes to Robocop.
Instead of turning to Lewis. Like, oh, Lewis has a gun. Yeah. But he really wants to kill Robocop, grabs a pipe.
And,
jabs it into his little part of his, like, I think past his armor or whatever.
Yeah.
And Robocop screams. Yeah. And awesome stabby scene. Well, that's what, you gotta use that spike for something. And Wolverine stabs him in the neck. And just the blood that, you don't see it, but just because you're seeing just Peter Weller or Robocop Murphy laying down there, just blood. Barf onto his chest from the stab wound into Clarence's neck.
Which... That's what that was there for the whole time.
I know, that's why.
But they had to justify it.
Exactly. They worked backwards.
Yeah.
They wanted, like, they had the scene of the ending, and they're like, well, what does that spike actually do? Is it a weapon? No, it can. That
would be too much for a police officer.
It's a data interface. Oh, okay, that works. Whatever.
I bet
that's what happened.
The people who originally wrote it just wrote it as like, oh yeah, that's totally one of his weapons. And then someone's like, you know what? He's a police officer.
Why would he have a
that
dagger?
Doesn't make
a
sense.
Fist knife.
Yeah. So then we get an exchange between Lewis and Robocop, which is meaningful.
I'm messed up.
And then Robocop says, so right. They'll fix you. They fix everything. Which child brain is sequel to RoboCop's.
It's more,
and they didn't do that.
Oh, that you thought she would be a robot?
If she was that far gone, to me that was a little bit of a she could be turned into a RoboCop.
She got movie shot, which means she just got hit in the arms and the shoulders and legs.
And she did. Yeah, it wasn't serious.
Fine. She wasn't in chest. She didn't get hit in the head, so she's fine.
She could at least get robot arms and legs.
See, that would have been interesting, but they didn't go that route.
No,
because they want to go interesting. But okay,
we go back to OCP at this point, and RoboCop comes out, and Ed 209's guarding the building. He's like, "Hey, you're illegally parking. You got to move." Hey, wait a minute. Hey, I got shot by
the cannon out, just instantly blowing off. Ed 209
and just walks right past him while the legs still kind of walk.
Well, yeah, it's just the leg. Yeah, walks a little bit. The top part is gone. Falls down, and they added a little twitch of one of the toes. Very
hilarious.
Just add a little touch of twitch.
so funny.
So, and that's the great joke about. As an adult, you say like, "This is a dumb machine that never worked. Why was I afraid of this as a kid?" Well, because I didn't know any better.
Yeah. So he walks all the way up to the boardroom, and Dick Jones is doing a speech.
Another speech.
When he bursts in, Dick Jones is obviously surprised because he
thought for sure Clarence would have
taken out. The owner's like, "Hey there, what brings you here today, son?"
Hello there, officer.
Yes. What brings you here today? It's casual, cool, calm, collected about it, and he's like, "I'm here to arrest Dick Jones."
Yep, and that's when he goes over to the wall and puts in the videotape, basically.
Of Dick Jones.
Of Dick Jones earlier in the meeting. Yep.
Saying what he said in the office to RoboCop about he had to kill Bob Morton because Bob Morton made a mistake, and now he's going to correct that mistake.
Yep. So, yeah.
I even managed to pull that out of my butt.
Good job, yeah.
And I got his last name, Bob Morton.
There it is. It took to the end of the movie to know what that character's last name was besides Bob Executive. Good job, Joe.
So then, upon seeing this, Dick Jones grabs the owner of OCP, takes him hostage, and starts making demands.
And then
Old Man then goes, "Dick,
you're fired.
You're fired.
You are fired.
Thank you."
Yep. Thank you, says RoboCop. Unloads.
Yep.
Hitting him, falls through glass with a bad, does not hold up visual.
This is the worst special effect of the movie.
Worst special effect of the movie.
And I got to see how it was made.
Oh, no.
And I don't agree with it at all.
This
has to be before any use of green screen or blue screen was really there because they used a puppet.
They use a puppet. that's supposed to look like Ronnie Cox with his arms are too long.
Yes.
You see it right away. It's only a couple seconds, but you see him fall, and it's this weird puppet falling to the ground. You don't see him splatter or anything. It cuts away from that.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's terrible. And why you couldn't, have a stunt guy shoot a different way. I mean, you've seen, Die Hard.
Yeah.
You have death falling out the window, but it looks terrible. It does not hold up.
I don't know.
It wasn't good. I remember as a kid, it didn't hold up then either. Like, that looks silly.
Now, and this time, my first time watching it, and where I decried in all capital letters and underlined bad effect, was because you can tell it's projected behind it.
Yeah.
And that's where I went to right away. I'm like, oh, God, that looks horrible. Then I see it a second time. I'm like, oh, God, this thing that's in the foreground's horrible, too.
Yep. So, it does not work, but Dick Jones shot and splatters to his death, and then Murphy's walking away, but Old Man says,
nice shot, son. What's your name?
The name's Murphy.
Black. Credits.
And that's the end of the movie. The awesome music kicks back in. Robocop's done. Murphy is awesome. Okay. That took 3 parts to get through, but we did it. I wanted to talk a little bit about the sequel, or did we forget anything we wanted to talk about?
No, we did a darn good job of covering everything.
We went through almost everything in this movie because it's awesome. I want to talk about the remake that came out. You didn't see it?
I did not see it.
I had to watch it because of all the... this is a movie I love. The original Robocop, a movie I love. Had to watch it. It was rated PG-13. It's not a good movie. It tries to talk about using the robots for war. Mm-hmm. You could get into all of that. The guy that played Robocop is boring. He's not charismatic. Everything is just boring and dull. There are some interesting parts of it, and I did not enjoy it. I think for the most part, it's just boring. And you have the visual style of modern movies where it's just not interesting. So, that's a quick review of it. But there's one great thing that they did in this movie, the remake of Robocop, is so he's in his suit. And he's talking to executive whatever, saying, how much of me is left, basically. And he's standing there, he's not in a chair, but he's on a platform or whatever, and they take his legs off, then they take his arms off, then they remove him. He is literally just a head with lungs and just one hand left. It's just a very good scene, and the guy he's trying to keep it together I'm barely human. There's nothing of me left. And just the idea of being stuck in that hell would just go insane and crazy and want to die. That was a really good scene that they didn't have in this one.
I think if they could have pulled it off, they probably would have had something like that.
And Murphy is just strong enough, emotionally or whatever to okay, I know I'm not much human left, but I can still do things. There are other people who just die or want to kill themselves.
I don't think Murphy in this version of Robocop has enough humanity to even deal with that yet.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right, because at the very end, he says, "What's your name?" "I'm Murphy. Yeah. I am not Robocop. I am Murphy."
He just finally admits it.
And unfortunately, the sequel, Robocop 2, they have to start over again. So he's still a little bit Robocop-y. He's not Murphy, unfortunately. But that's a different movie and review.
Yeah.
Okay. Thoughts?
For the remake, I thought that they went backwards and that possibly ruined it, because the way the trailer looked to me was that they started with war machines.
Yes.
And then bringing war machines into the United States to work as police officers. Whereas this one was, we're going to beta test in the United States with our war machines and then send them out, which is more horrific in reality.
It really is. We're testing on our own civilian populace. So, I guess thoughts about this movie, about Robocop, 1987. I think a lot of it holds up. The satire is great. It talks about it. There's so much relatable now to what's actually happening in our real world to see this. Paul Verhoeven, I love the guy's work.
Yeah.
Except for
what?
Strip Showgirls.
I didn't know.
That's such a bad movie.
I don't remember anything about it, really.
yeah, this movie definitely sticks with me. There's a ton of nostalgia in this movie, but I still think it is a solid movie, and definitely if you haven't seen this, check it out. It is violent, but the violence is over the top on purpose to make fun of it, to show how, just it's done over the top to show how silly it can get, and it's a commentary
and
about
it does
violence
actually,
in movies.
yeah, it does say things.
That's what it means. But then sometimes it takes itself seriously. It goes back. It has so many different tones, and it's done so well that there's some movies where you can tell like something funny happens, then something tragic happens, and it doesn't fit the movie.
Yeah.
This goes back and forth very well because it's written and directed by great people.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly recommend this movie.
I go to the point of saying when the remake came out, I was kind of confused. I was like, okay, I get special effects have moved on, and that's obviously what you're doing. But the movie is not about the effects. It's not about the action. It's about what's being said because of what's going on. Like you said, everything kind of has the feeling of coming to fruition of the look into the possible future posed 30 years ago, and how we're, in some cases, we're there now, and in other cases, we're getting pretty close. And there's other things where they didn't even talk about that is probably worse than they expected.
Oh, definitely. Where they're poking fun at it, but it's now our fucking reality, and that's scary.
And just because of the fact that they were able to have so much social commentary at that time that actually you can see it and feel it, and it's there. I don't think you can replace this movie. This movie is irreplaceable.
Yep, they tried to say their own thing in that other movie. It just didn't work.
Any of the sequels, too, I probably would gather. I heard that they got a little bit better when they went straight to DVD, but...
Oh, okay, so what they did was they had Robocop 2. It was done by a different director and different writer. It's okay. It's still got some good stuff in there. Robocop 3 is completely useless. It's rated PG-13. They're trying to kid it down, and that's something I remember. Also, is the toys. That's something in the 80s of having these rated R movies, and here's some toys for the kids, for Terminator, for Aliens, for Robocop. Get the toys. They had a cartoon that I remember watching, and that was okay. Then they did a Canadian series. That's the one that you're talking about, the straight to DVD, where there was a weird ghost in the machine and all these other weird things happening. And I remember those being just okay. I only watched, I think, the first one. But the problem is the over-the-top violence is what's important about it, because that's just really what Robocop is. And even in the Robocop 2, there was not as much violence. It was more... Because the idea of being, I guess the word schlocky in your violence, like, say, Commando, where it's being, see, I cut off that guy's head. Isn't that funny? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but...
It basically... Oh, we have this niche movie that did very well. Yes. Let's do more of this niche movie, but let's make it for more people, and then it's exactly ruined.
Right. You're right. That's what it was. Let's just try to, make it for a bigger appeal.
I think I would watch this movie time and time again.
So would I.
There's no end of me watching this movie.
I agree.
It's got to be in my top 10, if not my top 5.
Easily, yeah. You can easily watch this again and again. So that was Robocop. Directed by Paul Verhoeven, Dutch filmmaker extraordinaire. Well, if you could rate and review us in iTunes or wherever you get us, that would be awesome sauce. Awesome. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at RewindersPod. Or, if you want, you can email us at therewinderspodcast@gmail.com. Joe, we did it. We went through...
Oh, my God.
All of this movie, which we normally don't do.
No.
But there was so much going on, so much to be said, and we finished it off.
We did. So, if Robocop were to show up in today's world and have a spiffy tagline, what would his tagline be?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot
here. I'm putting you on the spot here.
I'd buy that. Let's see, inflation. So I'd buy that
for
$25. What do you got?
I know I put you on the spot. Now
I
gave myself extra time and I don't have anything either. I'd be like, bitches stay.
Oh, He's a lover, not a fighter nowadays.
Oh yeah, he's got a hot tub.
Is he fully functional like Data?
It at least vibrates and flops around.
My goodness. So, we are the Rewinders. Get that out of your head. Nope, you can't.
No.